So we can figure out who's who. So we can also have like an overview of what our qualifications are. So please, you're just going to state your name, what you do, maybe why you are here, what you'd like to learn. So we'll start from you, sir.
My name is I'm a businessman and visual artist.
Okay, you're a businessman, you're a visual artist. So you're already some form of an entrepreneur. You already do business. Yes. So maybe we'll be learning from you in the course of it. So how long have you done business? A decade. Brilliant. And you practice in the local ecosystem here. You're here in Abuja. Oh, fine. We'll learn from you. Please sit down.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Priscilla. I'm a civil engineer, although I'm a cycle artist.
Okay.
I'm here to gather as much knowledge as possible.
Okay, so you're a civil engineer. Is civil engineering your day job, or is that what you studied? So now you are really an obstacle artist. That's what you do. Brilliant. Morning. You need to tell the guys, so because there's a lot you guys will be taking away with yourselves. So
I'm here to learn everything possible. I'm also interested to connect with any group of people and
morning. Sorry, what's your name?
Sabrina.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is John. I'm a dance artist, a martial artist, in theater artist as well. So I'm here to learn more. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lucy. I'm an actress, thinker, and also content creator. And I'm here to learn.
Okay, brilliant. You are sorry? Okay, I sing. Okay.
My name is Simeon. I'm a cinematographer.
Brilliant.
Morning, everyone.
Morning. You're here to learn. Good. See, this is what happened when you default to the back. You know how it used to happen those days when they say, come to class, and we just go behind and say, so my darling friend who just walked in, I was asking her, please sit in front, and she just went behind. Now the microphone is with you, and my eyes are on you. All right? Yeah, so let's hear. Morning. What's your name? Sorry. Okay, good. Oh. Okay. Morning.
My name is Cyril. I'm a trainer of basically hospitality and that, and I'm here to find the skill, content creation, web designs, everything.
Would I be wrong if I said you were a chef?
Yes, I'm sure.
Yeah, so what was that intro again? You were a culinary and great. Those of us who really don't hear great or understand so much English, he's a chef. But beyond that, he's also a consulting chef, and he does a whole lot more. Happy to have you in class. Yes, yeah. Morning. Are you officially a dabber into stuff? What should we call you? Okay, so you're still searching. Great, awesome.
Good morning. My name is I'll get to network myself and
Brilliant. Okay, awesome.
My name is Arnold.
Sit. So.
As artist, I also do mostly many forms of art, photography. Yes, I'm also into so-called artists, so-called artists with other forms of art. And very important also advocate for the best English child. So I speak for best English and also only foundation for best English to actually bring out their art.
Okay. Awesome. Okay.
Morning, everyone. My name is John. Just trying to be a photographer and an entrepreneur. I used to be a student, but now I'm more of a freelance student. I get information where I can find. And I'm glad to be here because I'm looking for opportunities like this. Like my retreats, also to thank you.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lee, and I'm also a good fashion designer. I enjoy graphics and I design cool clothes. Like your jeans, you have old jeans that you don't want to wear any confused, so that you can bring it back to it, do some cool things, and you can paint to them.
Okay. So we still have a couple of people coming in. We'll just take maybe a minute or two. But one thing is obvious here, right? So in this class, we have a couple of singers, a couple of dancers, content creator, a cinematographer, a chef in the house, a fashion designer, a dabbler into stuff. And I am beginning to see that maybe something is cooking. Beyond the British Council program, right? The whole idea about this is for you to network, make new friends, find areas of collaboration. Who knows? Your great break might just be in the next person's project who is sitting close to you. We do insist, not encourage, we do insist that you must make friends before you leave, okay? Yes, you need to. The ecosystem needs a lot of collaboration, needs a lot of fellowship amongst artists, and we all need to grow. So the British Council is gracious enough to provide us with this platform where you will learn, but in order not to just end up with a certificate, right? you need to pick up quite a couple of things as you go along. Networking is one of it. And hopefully over the course of the next 4 days, you will also meet top consultants in the local ecosystem here, that's in Abuja, who've held their own across the country. And they will grant you access into their world. They will be speaking to you. They will be teaching you as well. It will do you a whole lot of good to maybe prepare questions from the training, but also questions as it relates to your business or what you want to do. Because it will give you an opportunity, truthfully, to engage with people who are in the industry, all right? And that would help you as it is. This morning, we're really going to just start, and I think we're just going to get into it, all right? So you're all welcome. For those of us who've not had the opportunity to introduce ourselves, we'll do it during the course of the exercise. We need to, hit the ground running. So this program is put together courtesy of the British Council, Microsoft, and of course our humble selves in Kavik, who have been choosing to deliver this to you. It's a creative economy e-learning program. So basically, or primarily, you will be signing on to the British Council portal, right? And when you sign on to the British Council portal, as I'm going to lead you through or explain to you, you will participate in that on the e-learning platform. It's going to show you, it's going to answer a lot of questions. You're going to have a lot of videos and interactions. There'll be lots of slides for you to learn from. It's a program that they put together because they realize that, look, the creative industry is really becoming phenomenal in terms of outlook, in terms of life is changing, in terms of impact it's having across the continent. And they've also realized that a lot of young creatives, while they're very good at creating stuff, have no idea about the business end of things. What should you do? How should you structure your business? What's a business, a creative business, truly supposed to be like? How is it supposed to run? What are the checks and balances? What do you need to know? So you find a lot of those things online. And for the very first, there are about 4 modules. But the first module is what really concerns us, because this is supposedly a class for young and aspiring entrepreneurs, maybe people who are just at early stage, whose business is early. But even if you are much more advanced in business, trust me, there's a whole lot you'll be picking up from here in terms of structuring your business, the right kind of questions to ask, how to hire the right kind of people, how to find markets, what's the kind of market you should be able to look for, how to organize yourself as well. In terms of creating products, for those who are looking for content development, what do you want to watch out for? Okay, what are the guidelines or the yardsticks you will use to measure or prepare your content? Who are your audience? Who are your customers out there? All this will help you, figure out exactly how to focus yourself, as opposed to spreading yourself very thin and then having very little return on your investment, okay? So the hashtag for this program, please, is CEEP Hub Training. And we will encourage all of us in the room to hit this hashtag on our various platforms, right? Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and all that. And while you do that, please reference at British Arts or at Nigeria British. So it's very important that you do that. What we've discovered from the past cohorts we had was that, interestingly, the British Council took interest in a couple of things that came off those platforms. They retweeted posts, they shared posts. And I think for each and every one of us, the stage, if you're aspiring and you're new, your stage doesn't really get as big or bigger than having the British Council push your material as well. So I'm going to encourage each and every one of us in the room that please ensure that you do this. You can hashtag us as well at Kavik Nigeria on Instagram, Kavik NG on Twitter. And if you are doing Facebook, I don't know how many people here still do Facebook, but if you're really doing Facebook, Creative Arts and Visual Media Center. And if you're not doing Facebook, I'm going to also encourage you that you need to do Facebook. And everybody will say why? Because Facebook is where the money is spent, okay? Instagram, you show a lot of your stuff, but the people who make a lot of payment decisions, right? You will still find them on Facebook. So you don't want to do away with Facebook entirely, even if it is to promote your brand. Like I said, those who have purchasing power, you find a lot of them on Facebook. Great. You can always check us out at www.kavik.africa, right? Okay, great. So next slide, sir. Let's hit the ground running. If you're online as well, maybe you want to introduce yourself so we'll know who you are now that you're in the chat room. Just drop who you are, what you do, where you are joining in from, so we can keep abreast of the conversation. Great. So, okay, we already have this. Let's do this first and foremost. Yeah, can we? We're ready when you're. So please, let's watch this video.
Young people in Africa want to be the boss, their own boss. They have talent and ambition, but a lack of relevant training is holding them back. The British Council, the UK's international organization for cultural relations and educational opportunities, wants to help change that. Using its networks across the world, the British Council has developed a series of e-learning courses targeted at entrepreneurs in the creative industries such as music, fashion, computer games, and film, and where their businesses has a social impact, making a difference to their community. The courses, in partnership with Microsoft, will look at entrepreneurial skills, mentoring, networking, and policies, whether new starters or those already in business.
Entrepreneurs have a role to play in enhancing communities economically, socially, and culturally. And so for us, this e-learning project is very much around broadening access to a lot of the content that we've been developing over time, working in all of these areas across the countries of Africa where we're working.
Digitally delivered training will become part of a blended approach so that those without internet access will not be left behind. It will be available for self-learning so that trainees can work through the courses on their own using online tools or where a facilitator will lead the sessions.
So my advice to entrepreneurs on the African continent is that customer is king. You can have a great idea and you're very passionate about it. But if your customers isn't passionate about it and they not end up in your banking account, you don't have a business. And so as you journey through the growth of your businesses, you must know that businesses around the world grow faster when they are connected to a business advisor, a group of mentors, life coach, get a legal advisor, be it, one of the tech startups, etc. Get an accounting firm, and do get an ambassador for your product.
The e-learning courses will reach 8 countries across sub-Saharan Africa, but will also be open to users more widely across the continent. By 2050, more than half the world's population growth will be in Africa. Economic forecasters believe this growth will bring unprecedented opportunities for investment and innovation. It's already a region where entrepreneurship among the young is thriving. Among those taking part in the course will be Salamatu Adamu, one of the few female photographers in northern Nigeria, and Kenyan filmmaker Victor Murithi.
Over time, I started to move it from sort of like a hobby to freelance and now to a company where I have to think about things like registration, the financial analysis, how to get funds, the business model canvas and all of that. And I think the course is really helping because sort of sometimes you feel really lost when you're doing something that's a bit unconventional at your location. So when you have courses that are meant for creators, especially what I'm doing, it sort of gives you a guideline.
Such content is necessary and actually very critical to the industry and to people in that space more than ever before. So I'll say it's something that someone needs to plug in, and if any creative person is ever planning to run a business, it is essential and actually critical, not only to the entrepreneur's survival as an individual, but also the venture's survival as well as a business in its life cycle. Yeah.
Designs by Senegalese fashion designer Sophie Zinga are seen on the catwalk all over the world. She started her business 10 years ago when she returned home from graduating from a college in the United States. Sophie believes it is important for creatives to take business courses.
Obviously, fashion is, something that's very passionate to do. It's creative, but there's a whole business behind it. And, I was lucky enough to have a background in economics coming into fashion design. So that really helped me also with the numbers. That helped me, put together a business plan, understand, where I was headed, have a canvas to work on.
Nouri Taha set up his multimedia business in Sudan after freelancing, because he found he was taken more seriously as a company. He says the British Council courses will help creatives learn about business practices.
I think the main issues for organizations not wanting to work with freelancers alone is the accountability. They want to know if, God forbid, something happened to this photographer, that their work is not going to be in vain, it's not going to be lost. There is always someone to go back to and check the work progress, or talk about payment. So from that angle, that's when I realized that I can no longer continue being a freelancer, so that if I want to take my business to the next step.
The e-learning is part of a wider creative economy piece of work by the British Council to create a stronger partnership between countries in sub-Saharan Africa and an ecosystem in which they can thrive.
Our program does support with entrepreneurship skills. It does support with the tools that people need to build successful businesses. But we're only building on that innate talent, that innate resilience, that innate innovativeness and inventiveness that young people in many of the African countries we're working already have.
Win at work by communicating
if you're already in the group, yes, sorry. Sorry. I'm going to give it to you guys. Okay, so because you're in-house, if you need the Wi-Fi, right? Why did a lot of people start smiling? Okay, yeah, so if you need the Wi-Fi, you will see Kavik 2. Have you seen Kavik 2? You're signing into Kavik 2, right? And Kavik 2, the password in capital letters is NWUSHU000. I'm going to take that again. NWUSHU000. David, what's up? The internet is shaking. You've logged on. Have we all logged on? So some people have, fastest fingers first. Some people have joined, others are still struggling to join. Are we all there? Yeah, sure. NWUSHU, all in capital letters, 000. And if you've done that, then please, you can just go to the WhatsApp group, click the button for the link, so we can head on straight to the link. Anyone still wants the internet password? Or we're all good? Have we all logged on? Not everyone is answering. Have we? We have, eh? Okay, great. Okay, so for, the guys online, is it in the, drop it in the chat room online, please. Online, not the WhatsApp group, on the, yeah, please put it in the chat room. Sorry? Okay, so if you are online, the portal to sign on into, which you will note because you need to be able to just note it. If you hello? Okay, so we have quite a number of people online as well. So if you have signed on, please just click that button and it will take you to this portal. Any of us there yet? David? My connection is gone. Using the device. Okay, so I'm back on, but I can't see you. Okay, so a number of people are there. I can see from their phones. Quite a number of people are there. Log this in off the internet. take it off the internet. Yes. Great. So David, could we please have that page up? Is it someone's phone? Are we all there? Just hold on. Hold on. Sorry? So could we please go to the next, to the online page so we can start signing in. So British, great. Brilliant. So can we put it online for those online as well? So you're going to see these notices from the British Council asking you, accept cookies, please accept cookies, or accept the cookies that are relevant for you or that you would permit, then we can go. Can we make this full screen, please? So we should all be at this page, right? We should all be at this page. And you have get started. Can we make this bigger, please? Thank you. So get started. So please, let's click the get started button, all of us. Thank you. And when you do, it'll bring you to, it will ask you to put in your phone numbers. That's why you need maybe a phone. But even if you are using your laptop, if you put in that phone number, it will send a code to your phone. Fill a form. If you put in that number, it's going to ask you to fill a form. Please fill the form. That form is almost the same as the form you filled online. And the reason why you're actually doing this is because what you are doing presently is that you're accessing the British Council portal directly. So you are registering on their portal. Now, this particular course is a course that if you face it head on, okay, you should be done with the first module in 12 hours. However, it's been arranged in such a way that you can do it at your own convenience. But what you need to understand is that there are 4 modules, okay? There are 4 modules, and each of these modules, when you are done with each module, you will get a certification or a certificate of participation from the British Council. All right. So you can choose to do all 4. You can choose to do the first one. And depending on where you are in your entrepreneurship journey, you can do the others. Okay, I'll just run us through it. Which module is this? The form itself. Keep it. Good. So we're now trying to log in here, right? So we can see what it is. Fantastic. But I think we've gone past all stage. Most people here. Yeah, but most people have seen all this. So sign up with your mobile phone, you'll get a code, the code gets sent to you. And once you put in the code, I've seen that most people in-house here really have passed the stage. So as I was explaining, different modules. For those of us who are just starting, right? And early stages, practically everybody in this room, you want to finish that particular module. And once you are done, you will be able to unlock your certificate. And the British Council has collected these details from you because you are going to be able to get your certificate sent to you directly once you are done. And what this does, it opens you up to a whole lot of opportunities because it is education from the British Council. It provides you room also for collaboration. You become known to them in terms of opportunities for grants and all. They really want to also be looking in-house to see who are the people we've trained. Do they have our basic training? Do they have, they have a certification from us, you know? And that way you can find a lot of resources with them. There are also a lot of resources online that you can find from the British Council as well. So logging on to this just starts or establishes a relationship for you, okay? And if you've done that, you will default to this page. And what you'll discover is that you have a couple of courses to complete. And when you are done completing, about 27 of them. Now, some of these courses, right, have the lectures are like very short videos, 1 minute, 2 minutes, slides, like I said, that you can download and review again. There will be quizzes, questions that you need to answer. And the peculiar thing with this particular module is that it's set up in such a manner that you cannot fast track it. So you cannot fast forward the videos, okay? And the way it is set up, the launcher or the browser needs to identify that you finished watching a video and accept it as such before it will open up the next lesson for you. So if for any reason you find yourself with a bit of a challenge that you can't seem to get to the next lesson, it means that it's still defaulting that you haven't finished that particular lesson. And in the course of the videos that are being shared, right, you will discover that certain tips will be given to you. Please take note of them, write them down, try to remember them, because when you get to where the quizzes are, quite a number of those questions will be coming from those materials. It's very important that you do not just, like I say, fast track and just hit the road and think that you are done. You won't accept it. It's supposed to be for your development. Yes, sir? Are you sure it's not from your internet connectivity? Because I guess practically everyone here has gone past that stage. What did it say? You said what? Please give it to, pass it to the gentleman behind. Let me help you with it. So I can see that quite a number of people are already on the pages we are looking at, which is this page. Like I said before, there are 4 different modules, right? There is launching your creative enterprise for those of us who just want to start our businesses or who have just started our businesses and what we need to know. There is growing your creative enterprise. So if your business is already at a place where you want to scale it up, you want to, understand how to grow it even bigger and all, That module will be the one for you. Then there is social impact through entrepreneurship. It means that your business has reached a place now where it must have impact on the society. It's no longer just a very small business, but every business really should end up having a social impact for it to be a great business. That's the direction the world is going now. So whatever you are doing as a business person or you want to do, you want to be able to inculcate that into place as well. Ensure that your business will have impact, social impact, have impact on society, have impact on your immediate environment and all. And then the last one, which is 4, is about the creative economic policy. So if you are big in the industry now, or you want to know what's happening in the industry, and I think everybody should be interested in that because you want to know what policies drive the industry you are in or the industry you want to be in. So you want to figure out, and you're going to find out how these policies are, what they are, how they are formed, how they are playing out now. And maybe you might also be able to find for yourself a value chain where you can fit in or fit your business in as well. So this is not just about learning, it's also about finding out where you can fit into the value chain of the creative industry across Africa, okay? Now, if you do that, please, can we have this a little bit reduced so I can just point out? Great. Let's go to the first one. What happens is this, right? You have, under this launching your creative enterprise, you have an introduction first to the African creative economy, then you have bringing your ideas to life. How do you bring your ideas to life? What does it mean to bring, how do you figure out what ideas are great? How do you make them worthwhile? How do you bring them into play in business? There is finding the right people. And finding the right people here would be 2. Primarily addresses recruitment. If you are trying to build a business, where do you find the right kind of people for your business? Who is right for your business? You know, what's the right attitude and mentality? And also it could defer to finding also the right plugs for your business, the right kind of connections for your business, the right kind of contacts for your business as well to grow in the ecosystem. So you will find discussions about that here. Then we have building your business proper. How do you build your business? There are so many things that you will find in the course of this program. We'll be taking you through what we call the business development canvas. So you should be able to critically identify, where your business is, who your customers are, who your suppliers are practically. How do you build a model for the business? How do you reach your customers? How do you get feedback from your customers? How does all this play with the industry as well? What's the government policy? How do you grow a business in Nigeria today and a successful business while you're at it? And then of course there is branding and marketing. What's your brand? How do you create a brand? How do you market your business? What platforms are you using to market your business? How effective are those platforms? Do you need to change them? You ask a lot of people, they say, we're doing social media. Which social media is a right fit for you? What kind of message are you creating on social media? What kind of impact is that message going to have? Is it going to drive your business up? Is it opening new doors for you? So these are things we're going to be repeated often is a phrase that says, perception, right? Perception is reality. A lot of people will argue and say, no, perception is not reality. That's not true. That's not true. In the business world today, take my word for it, and we will prove it. Perception is reality. So we have a lot of people, we've had people come in and say, oh, we need to be true to our brand. This is what we do. We're purists in the business we do. Yes, you can be a creative, okay? But to be a creative entrepreneur, that is a very, very different ballgame entirely. And the problem we have oftentimes with a room full of creatives is that everybody wants to remain true to their craft. But in a couple of years, a couple of months, you are frustrated because your craft is so brilliant, but there are no takers. So you become so frustrated, you're not making money. And if you're not making money as an entrepreneur, then there is a very, very big problem somewhere. The government is only going to be able to absorb how many people in terms of employment. And you as a creative person have stepped out to say, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, I'm going to make money while doing the things I do. So you need to be able to make money. Creatives are very big on passion, right? Oh, we're great on passion. Passion is absolutely amazing. I just love what I do. I love what I do. This is how I do it. But an entrepreneur does what? He solves problems. She solves problems. Until you can define your business and find a creative way to solve problems, you are not going to be a creative entrepreneur. You might be a creative, but you will not certainly be a creative entrepreneur. And you need to be a creative entrepreneur. You need to generate money. So one thing you're going to have to understand with this whole setup is, are you going to be solving problems? Is your business solving problems? What kind of problem is it truthfully solving? Are there people who have these problems that you're trying to address? Are the people who have the problem willing to pay for a solution to that problem? Do you have a solution to that problem? Can you get the people who have this problem and who have the resources to pay for your solution to that problem? If you are able to tick these boxes, then you are well on your way to being able to create a living for yourself with what you do, and as well grow your ecosystem too. So it's very important for us. We'll be looking at all these things. And once you've done that, you will unlock your certificate. Now, when you get to this portion where you're going to unlock your certificate, right, you will find questions. And like I've hinted before, please take notes, because the good thing about it is that it's online and you can go back if you want to review and watch some videos again and again until you get the solution. But once you've done all that, it is straightforward. You will be able to unlock your certificate. And then we'll say great congratulations to you. A lot of people who have started from the first, this is the 4th cohort now. Quite a number of people from the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd cohort actually have finished module 1. Some, I think, should have accessed the certificate by now or are expecting it. So you truthfully want to ensure that that is done. So let's deep dive into it. Let's go into the first module, because I need to point out how some of the videos are structured and how some of the lessons are. If we've gone on, we've gone on. Okay. Are we okay? So I'm going to ask you guys, right? Maybe for the purpose of this class, if we've all signed on, okay? Can we just default, maybe let's just sign out for now, all right? So that we can concentrate on this. What will happen is that once we're done with the class, you have the space is available, you have the internet, so you can just sit back and try to get as much mileage as you want. The whole idea was to ensure first and foremost, right, that we sign you on. Yes, sir. Forms. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, my apologies. There will, as you sign on, truthfully, there will be 2 forms you will be filling. I'm sure some people already just did it and blew past it. You know, so don't feel confused as to, especially for people online as well. When you're filling those forms, when you put in your phone number and then it defaults to a form, when you fill that form, you will see another form again. Please fill it as well. That's what opens up the modules for you completely. All right. So especially for our online audience, I think our in-house audience have gotten that now. But for our online audience, please, there will be 2 forms. Fill the first one and then fill the second one, and it will open up the modules for you. So let's go. First slide, please. So you'll find, like, for instance, now you find a couple of sites. The whole course here, like I said, comprises of slides, of videos. There will be case studies. There will be podcasts as well that you should listen to. But trust me, it's a very, very interactive piece. It's very engaging, and there's a lot to learn from it. But when we're done with this, from day 2, 3, and 4, you will be dealing with practical in-house people, okay? You'll be dealing with people who have businesses, great businesses, people who have impacted the industry directly, so you can talk with them and they can share their own experiences with you. You can go on to continue feeling this or watching this and try as best as possible to finish. But for your own business to grow locally in the ecosystem, you need that interaction, okay? So from tomorrow, that's what we'll be dealing with straight up. But for today now, let's just go through this. First one, 11 slides. Can we go through these slides so I can just show what's there? It talks about you launching your creative enterprise business. Are you a creative person with great ideas? Do you now want to have a business? Okay. So going beyond just having great ideas to actually starting a business, what you will learn from the ecosystem, what the African creative economy is even about in the first place. It's just not a buzzword. What is it about? What's the African creative economy? Who's part of it? How can I be part of it, right? Next slide. Sorry. So I just wanted to point this out. Launching your creative enterprise is a prerequisite course for all other British Council creative economy courses. That's why it's important that you do it and get your certification, right? Because if you want to do a whole lot more stuff, you need this first, okay? Next slide, sir. And it's just showing us basically what I've run through, as I just said, various aspects of it. Talks about the total learning for all these 5. Ideally, should be 12 hours and you should be done. And you should have your certificate, right? But then depends on how well you study, how much time you devote to it. But you can actually get your certificate in 12 hours if you face it. Next slide. Shows you what you will find in the course, just like I said earlier. Videos, PowerPoints you can download, podcasts and videos that you can also download, an international case study, quizzes and assignments and worksheets, right? Next slide. And what will you achieve when you are done with all of this? What will you achieve? Reflect on your own potential as an entrepreneur. It wants to make you help. And I think for a lot of us entrepreneurs, we really need this because you really need to figure out if you are doing the right thing. Do you want to waste all your time doing this if it is not what you want to be doing? It just helps you tick some of those boxes so that when you are done, you can confidently say to yourself that this is what I want to be doing and I am on course to achieving what I want to achieve. So we're not just wasting time, okay? It helps you articulate what's a good business idea in Africa, especially within that creative economy. So your business could even be, you could be here, but your business is in South Africa. You want to find out how you can hook up with the people in South Africa. For someone who's the dancer, you want to be able to do dancing projects across the continent, right? Not just in your locale. Yeah, so it's going to help you identify a lot of opportunities. And with the collaboration as well, we open doors for you. Identify the right team, and then develop the kind of tools you need and a plan of action to actually market your idea. So many of us, and what we've learned in the past couple of days, amazingly, is that a whole lot of people do something. They create a product, okay? Or they create what they call is a solution. And then they are going around looking for someone to sell that solution to. and it's not working. People are not buying it. People are not buying it at all. And then you're frustrated because you put in so much work. You're trying to hone your skills, but nobody is truthfully buying it. So how about you want to step back and take a look at what it is you are doing again? Are you actually even addressing the right problems? Because the truth is this, if you address the right problem, right, people will look for you. People will look for you. Have you seen anyone who's sick who doesn't look for medication? It's the same approach with business. If you have a product that is irresistible, no matter where you are tucked away in one small corner, people will come and look for you because you are providing a solution. Let's step away from this thing that we do in Nigeria, that we just think, oh, I have a brainwave, I have this brilliant idea that's going to make me a whole lot of money. Guys, ideas are a dime a dozen, trust me. Trust me. Friend of mine, one of the guys who will be talking to you people, he said, look, he had this brilliant brainwave, and he's like a top-notch entrepreneur, amazing fellow. And he went and he ran it through some people, and they said, this is amazing, this will sell. So he quickly now went to say, let me get a domain, let me quickly get a domain. And he went to register a domain, and he found a domain with the exact name he was looking for. Yeah? That's all right. So out of curiosity, he decided to find out what it is they were doing. And he saw his complete idea was what those guys were doing. But guess what? They have been doing it for 5 good years. 5 amazing years. True story. And all of us kind of just think that, hey, I have this amazing idea. I'm the only one. And you trust and you end up else. We kind of hug it, right? You don't want to share with anybody. So they just take it down. Let me tell you guys, there's a whole lot going out there. And the sooner you open up yourself to these realities, the better you can come up with a new, refreshing product. You see, there are so many ideas trying to solve problems, okay? But the better ideas are solving and they are making money while they are at it. I mean, you guys just ask yourself, quite a number of people in this room, I'm sure you have no business with the post office for any reason. Probably be wondering, why do we still have a post office in Nigeria? Or what are they doing with it? But trust me, way back, that used to be the way to send stuff, okay? These things that we do at the speed of light with our phone now. I was telling some guys that just a few short years ago concerning phones, if you needed to make a phone call, you needed to go to a town that had an exchange in Nigeria, you needed to join a queue, then you would dial that number and you wait, and there's this strong call and it's going, you can hear the buzz, and then suddenly you connect and you must speak very quickly because the network will just throw you out. Some time ago in Nigeria, if you wanted to record or register, open a web address. It's so easy for us now. We do emails like you don't even think about it, right? To open an email, one of my friends would say as he lectures, right? How many of us in this room know M.I. Abaga? Quite a number of us know M.I. Before M.I. became who he is today, M.I. Abaga used to be a cafe manager, or if we're calling it properly, or he was a cafe operator in the town of Jos. And he helped my friend then, Dr. Phillips, set up his account. And what you do then is you will type in some things and then you wait for it to try and boot and boot and boot and boot. But today you don't even think about it. Look at the way you set up mails now. It's no longer something you think about, right? So business is also the same way. You can have a brilliant idea, but it is 10 years too late. It's 20 years too late, okay? You must learn to change. We must learn to roll. Next slide, sir. Are you ready for this course? Of course you are. Next. Thank you. So Next thing would be a video, right? Can we see our video? And I think we have some questions online as well. Okay, my modules unlocked, brilliant. After filling the forms, did your modules unlock? Great, yes, they did. I'm at the page where the modules are listed. Awesome, great. Is our video coming, sir?
To course 1, Introduction to the African Creative Economy. In this course, you will critically reflect on your own entrepreneurial journey, articulate your passion and your purpose, define the difference between creative and social enterprise, understand Africa's creative economy potential, familiarize yourself with international and African cultural policies, as well as to develop your overarching vision for the Africa you want. Remember to have your notebook and your pen ready so that you can reflect and write down your answers to the questions throughout the course. It will also serve as a handy reminder of the key insights that you've gained through your learning journey. Most importantly, this is about your personal growth and development. Relax and enjoy every moment.
It won't default you to the next video. And sometimes you might have a bit of challenge. So you have people saying, hey, I can't get past this. The internet needs to be great. That's one of the things we've discovered so that you can, go to the next one. Next slide, sir. Okay, so like I said, there'll be case studies. Next slide, please. And what this case study will do is, so you're there's a video that I'll be watching pretty soon. And like I've told you guys, it's really important. So for instance, now they're asking you, please reflect. Can you identify the tricky areas of impact and all? These things are embedded in the video. So if you don't pay attention to it, it'll be an issue when you now need to probably, if you run into these questions much later, it might be a bit of a challenge, right? Next slide, sir. On the video, as the case may be. So please, let's watch this video. This video was created by the World Bank, and there are some things I'm going to point out in them as well. Please.
It is said that the role of the artist is to make revolution irresistible. With the stroke of a brush, a new landscape is seen. A sculpture can reimagine our environment. A photograph can be a tool for justice. Songs can help communities build resilience. And films can challenge harmful narratives to build empathy. It's true that artists can move hearts and minds, but we can do so much more. We are one of the world's fastest growing economies. We are incredible creative thinkers and problem solvers. We build new paradigms for cities and drive tourism as cultural workers. We are important communicators during crises and help connect the disconnected. Our livelihoods are independent of a formal work culture. We can be of any age, any ethnicity, and work anywhere in the world. We are not charity, but a growing, thriving economy. Our sector generates more than 29.5 million jobs and $2,250 billion in US revenue. Our world is in need of a creative revolution, and yet our livelihoods are at stake. You can help change this trajectory. Create artist-friendly policies. Support the health and well-being of working-class creatives. Give artists a seat at the decision-making tables. Solicit our creative thinking and problem-solving skills, and engage us in creating a sustainable world by 2030. My name is Lisa Russell, and I'm a filmmaker and a curator. As founder of Create 2030, I advocate for responsible engagement of professional artists in the sustainability sector. Let us create a better world together.
We're all creatives, or most of us are creatives in this room, right? This project was put together by the World Bank, okay? A total of 25 artists were paid in the making of this 2-minute video. Why shouldn't those artists be the guys in the room here? Why shouldn't they be the guys who are online? Why shouldn't they be the ones who are making this crazy amount of money? The whole reason why you are doing this is so that you can easily step into these shoes. You need to be the person that when they are looking for someone to deliver a high value, high impact product, such as this, you are the one they are talking to. You are the one they are talking to. It's very, very important. You need to understand something about your business, right? That you need to think very big, but start very small, okay? But your mentality is that huge thing, that big value that your business will truthfully be providing. If it was just about making money, right? Then maybe Aliko Dangote should have stopped doing business by now. He's arguably one of the richest men in the world. But I'm still certain he works so much more than most of us, if not all of us combined in this room. Okay? You need to be at the top of your game. And these things you are going to learn will help you head in that direction. It's very important. So don't waste your time over the past or the next 4 days, not assimilating. You need to truthfully grab what this is about, because you want to leapfrog yourself from where you are presently to where you really should be. Are you truthfully thinking about your business as a global brand? Are you looking at yourself that in the next 5 years, I should be on the lips of everyone on the African continent? I should be one of the persons that people should be looking for in what I do. You need to be very deliberate about how you position yourself, the things you create, how you create them. My sister here says she remodels jeans, clothing. Have you seen yourself on the runways all across the continent? Have you seen yourself as one of the persons that people want to look for when they are talking about vintage clothing or repackaging clothing or new content? We talk about, there are people here who are upcyclers, recyclers. Have you thought about how much wealth you can make? I don't know how many of us in the room know Dotun Pupola. Dotun is a fellow who is a sculptor, yeah? But what Dotun decided to do with his sculpting was go take recycled materials, old car engines, bicycle chains, spoons, castaway stuff. And then he started creating this amazing type of art from it. And I think Dotun's cheapest piece, I don't know, now probably will be about 5-6 million for one. He lives here in Nigeria, but he's sought after all over the world with what he does. You can be the next Dotun. You should be the next Dotun. Should be even far beyond that, okay? My friend who's a chef, what are you doing with our local cuisine that is making people really go crazy? And you're selling it not just to the local populace, but as a brand across the continent and outside and beyond. You know, you should be the household name when it comes to culinary stuff. People should be able to say, hey, this fellow's food is not just food. It is an experience. So what you're selling is not just food. Anybody can get food anywhere. You can go to the next canteen down the road and get food. But how many people will get these experiences? How many people will say, have you had this fellow's meal? Trust me, it's in a world of its own. Once you're able to create such products, you will have what we call, should I say, brand evangelists. You won't even look for the evangelists yourself. The evangelists are just people who have enjoyed your service. Really, really, it resonated with them. And so of their own free will, they will go out and tell people. Trust me, if you've not had this person's meal, if you've not listened to this person speak, if you've not watched this person dance, you are really missing out on a lifestyle, a lifetime experience. For those of us who do fashion, I mean, like my friend Mimshak would say, right? In town here, the average kaftan, I don't know, probably like 20K, okay? Would be about 20K or so. But there is a brand here in Abuja whose kaftans sell for 100K. And they don't chase people up and down. The general idea is that if you can buy their, you see, when you wear their kaftan and you step into a place, right? People are not saying, oh, this style is brilliant. They've just seen their logo, say, this man has just spent 100,000 on a kaftan. This guy has crazy money. And that's what they've chosen to do as a brand. So you need to figure out what you truthfully will do and how you want to do it. It's so, so important. Think about your business 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Where is it? Will you still be struggling trying to pay your bills? Will you still be struggling trying to find an idea that will fit? Or truthfully speaking, you are well on your way to where you should be? 5 years from now, will you still be the accountant, the designer, the, what's it called? Logistics person, the customer service relation officer, customer officer? Will you be all that? Or 5 years from now, if we walk into your business from Kavi, we'll find a team of very smart young people, well-dressed, speaking amazing English, doing stuff online, lots of customers coming and going, and you are a success story, and we're saying, hey, hi, how are you? And you're like, oh, business is amazing. I really can't even meet up with my orders. One thing you will learn, right, and which I've learned over time is that these things, when you find successful businesses, okay, or successful brands, let's say as humans, they are actually not, they don't get there by accident. I'm going to be very honest with you. They don't get there by accident. They are very deliberate in their journey. They figure out what they need to do, they get to doing it, and they have the results. And you must have this at the back of your mind. Otherwise, you will go back to your 9 to 5, you'll be paid by people. But one thing you must understand with your entrepreneurship journey also is the fact that it's a very tasking endeavor, okay? Lots of times, I don't know, maybe this class, we have such great people, you won't have struggles, I don't know. Maybe by divine happenstance, you will just stroll from one to the other and it'll be great and you just make a lot of money. But oftentimes, the truth is this, there's a lot of hard work involved. There's a lot of personal sacrifices involved. But at the back of your mind is this thing that keeps pushing you. You are going somewhere. You are going to unveil yourself pretty soon to the world. Your brand is going to go places. And you will find yourself there. Another thing you will learn during the course of this whole exercise is the fact that failure is not bad. I know a lot of us have been told that, look, you've been raised in such a way that failure is really a bad thing, right? From when we're kids in school, everybody says you can't afford to fail. You must not fail. You must not fail. But trust me, as you go on this entrepreneurship journey, you will realize one great, amazing thing. Failure is actually a friend of yours. You must even approach business, and I'm saying this with all sincerity, with the mindset that it is probably going to fail. A lot of people don't do this, and then they become frustrated. You know why? Because whatever you are giving out as soon as you step out into the business world is never the best product. You just think to yourself that this thing I'm doing is good. People will buy it. It will be amazing. But trust me, it is not the best product. It will be competing with a lot of established products. You'll be competing with things that are already out there doing very well. And what your duty is to learn from it. As it fails, right? You learn from it, you correct it, you fine-tune it to what is acceptable or what is needed, and you bring it back again. And the more you do that, the more you will be creating a product that will stand the test of time, that will hold its own in the market. We have people who say, we do spoken word. Yeah, you do spoken word, that's great. You like the sound of your own voice. How many people like it? How many people like the message you're passing across? How many people can resonate with this message you're passing across? How many people believe in this message and how you pass it across? How are you passing this message? How are you impacting people? What are you doing? Because you might just figure out that, hey, I'm speaking, but nobody's really, what's the problem? They don't like spoken word. No, but someone is making a whole lot of money from it. Someone is among this kind of 25 people. Someone is out there writing content for a project like this and putting the right words in people's mouths. It should be you. Next slide, sir. Okay. You're ruling the world. Next slide. Next slide, sir. All this is straightforward. Keep going. All this we can study on our own. I want to draw your attention to something in particular. Next module then. So this would be, as you go through this, instructions, hold on. This will help you kind of think things through. What are the deep dives between the business you are trying to do, the values that you are trying to put out there? How can you make them correlate? You know, how can you find correlation between what it is you are doing, your values, your passion, the business idea? Please keep going. These are things that they can study on their own. There's an important thing I need to note for you guys. Next slide, sir. Fantastic. So this is very important, guys. This is very important, okay? And why this is important is this. Sometimes you will see like a video, or there's supposed to be a video, but there is no click button anywhere here in the course of your training. So what you need to do when you find this kind of thing, there's a video that says, what does it mean to be a creative entrepreneur? And it's an interview with a South African lady. And you're wondering, where is it? Where you see a media like this, you need to click on it. If you don't see the video, like maybe a YouTube button or whatever, go back, sir. Good. You need to click here. And when you do it, it will take you to where the video is. So sometimes you might not see it and you'll be wondering, where is the video?
A creative entrepreneur or professional is somebody who is a creative, but that creativity or that product of that creativity, they also see as a business. You know, it's their way of making a living. Like me, I'm a musician. I'm an actress and I use my creativity, and I have done for the past 20 years, as a way of making a living in the world. So it's an interesting thing, because I think often we think our creativity or the arts can't live in the same space, as business, but it has to. It has to. Your art has to make sense, or rands and cents, or dollars and cents. Creative entrepreneurship, and it's unique as well. It's all unique to the individual. None of us, nobody here on this planet is the same as anybody else. There's only one of you, and there's only one person who's going to do it exactly like you, and that's you. So you do it to the best of your ability, and then you also make it work for you financially.
Just give me a minute. Okay. So, like I said, it might just be hidden here, but did you guys hear what that lady said? It's very important. She sings, but she needs to make money from her singing. Whatever it is you are doing, you need to make money from it, okay? That's what makes you an entrepreneur. You need to make money from it. So this whole exercise is to help you start thinking as well. What am I doing? Is it making money? Am I thinking it out through properly? Is that the best way to present it? Is that the right way to make money from it? Are there other ways people are making money from this thing? Are there other things I should be doing now? Are there new skills I need to get to position me properly? So these are questions you will be asking yourself, and the more answers you get, I guess, the better it is. Next slide, sir. Look at what she says. Says it is an interesting thing because I think often we think our creativity or the arts cannot live in the same space as business, but it has to. You must be very business-minded, you guys. It's very, very important. You must be. See, so what we're doing here, right, will help you do a couple of things. What's that? Maybe it'll help you unlearn a whole lot of things you've learned before. Just remove a lot of things from your mind, then relearn what you truthfully need to do to help you go out there and make good money. But this time around, when you're making money, you're also bringing products that people can resonate with. People can become your evangelist and talk about you and share you across their various platforms and ensure that you keep growing. Next slide, sir. Now, I want to talk about this briefly. It's just, it's not much, but it's about the kind of three pathways you may find for yourself, right? Maybe employment, right? Or entrepreneurship, which means you are self-employing, or what we call freelancing. Especially, I think for spoken word and music guys, they understand this a whole lot, doing freelancing gigs, okay? And it's okay to start out, really, if you have the mindset to jump and become an entrepreneur right off the bat, brilliant. But sometimes you want to be in a safe place and ease yourself gradually into the entrepreneurship space, okay? And sometimes when you want to do this, freelancing is a good option, right? Because after hours, you can also go and do what it is you do. So you're earning money from both sides until your passion has grown to a place where it can feed you and take care of you properly. Then you can say, okay, goodbye to. There's a big crazy thing a lot of us do, guys. While people do it, I don't know if that's the right path to go. And that's the fact that quite a number of us just burn our bridges. Okay? Say, I am going to be a creative person, and that's what it is. And give up your employment, do all that, start If you want to do that kind of thing, you need to have the right resources to take you through the rough patch of that journey, because you will run into a lot of rough patches. It will pay off if you are persistent in what you do. The question just is when. When? Some people get so comfortable in this that they do not allow this to happen. At some point, they become so used to earning a living, so say, I can't go out in the world anymore. They're always afraid, and then it doesn't happen. Like I've said, failure is what? A friend of yours. You will learn in this course how to fail. You will learn that failure can't kill you. Failure will only just make you iterate better, fine-tune your products better. You will learn to identify markets. There is the general market, the mass market. There is the premium market, premium luxury market. You will learn to understand what it takes to be a player in those markets, and whether you now want to build your product to suit those markets. Trust me, you cannot have a product that fits both the mass market and the premium market. It doesn't happen. It doesn't. The guy who goes to same phone, right? In Wuse and in Maitama, but the prices in Maitama are much higher than in Wuse, same phone. The reason why it is so is because there are some people who, no matter how high that price is in Maitama, the fact that they can go to Maitama and shop in Maitama is why they will put their money in those things, okay? So you need to be able to identify what your market truthfully is, and you'll be learning how to do that. What is your market? What are the resources you have? How are you going to deploy those resources? If you don't have so much, you need to concentrate your effort. You can't spread yourself too thin. So how do you identify which works? With each market comes its own challenges, right? The person who goes to, how many of us in this room know where it's called Iaoyo in this place? Two people, guys, you don't eat out, okay. Okay, how many people know Chicken Republic here? Quite a number of us, right? How many of us know the Hilton? How many of us have had lunch at the Hilton? One person. It was a conference, eh? It was a conference, right? Good. So you didn't pay for that. I've learned about something that I found very amazing during the course of this program, right? That with all apologies and love to the ladies in the house, I hear that there are restaurants that are called selfie, what's it now? What's that word? Sorry? Selfie worthy. I heard that there are restaurants in Abuja that are selfie worthy. And so when people go to eat in that restaurant, they don't go there necessarily for the food. They go there because of the ambience and the beauty of that place and how amazing it is. And when they put it on Instagram, everybody's like, wow, so you can go there. This is amazing. It has nothing to do with food, but it is a restaurant. Yeah? So same thing with you guys. And these are the things that will be happening and you'll be learning. Which market are you playing in? Why are you in that market? What are you getting from that market? What's the channel through which you are doing business? Who are you reaching? How are you reaching them? Very important, right? Next slide, sir. Okay, so it's just explaining that. So let's go, let's move forward. These are all self-explanatory. Hold on, back one slide. Okay, good. Yeah, here. You see, guys, all of you who are starting business newly, this is very important. You have to learn to be what we call creative suits. You know what that means? I'm just wearing so many hats. at the very beginning, okay? You are the designer, you are the social media person, you are the tailor for those who make the clothes themselves. You are the one who delivers. Yes. For you who do upcycling, you have to go and collect your materials at the very beginning yourself, you know. But as you fine tune your business, right? Soon you will generate enough resources to be able to outsource those things to people who can do them better than you. And so as a product, when you're now presenting, it will be a much better product. What are the tools you are using now? These are things you'll be learning as well. You know, before the coming of, how many of us in this room know Canva? A number of people know Canva. Brilliant. If you were in Abuja and you wanted to do designs before, right? When it was time for design, you went to Area 10. And trust me, Area 10 was like a nightmare because the guys never gave you what you wanted. They gave you what they had the time to do for you. And you were forced to live with that. Even if you didn't like, so they've done a lot of designs and they will just readapt it somehow to fit what you want. But trust me, even when you really don't like it, you'll just have to deal with it. Today, you just go to Canva yourself. Canva, for the most part, is free. And you knock together a design. And you put it out there. They've already put it in various modules. Is it Instagram you want to put it on? This is what to use. Is it Facebook? Template. Just reformat. And that's helped a lot of people. As you wear these various hats, you will learn to deal with financing. So you will appropriate the right resources, you know, to the right task. I mean, just look at it. If you are doing business, right, and your family wants to help you, for instance, now, and they decide that let's pay your rent for you for the first year. And they raise money and you go and open some upscale place and all, and your product is not great. When it's time to pay that rent again, it'll be a big problem for you. They won't want to give you that money because they probably sacrificed for you to even start this journey. They won't do it again. And if you can't sustain it, then you're in trouble, right? So want to learn all these things and more. Next slide, sir. And I think we should be about done. I want us to move forward. I'll tell you where to stop. There's a video I want us to watch. Yeah, this video.
Usually conjures visions of a one-off musical performance. It happens once and then the band is off to find their next performance, or gig. Gig is actually a slang term, meaning a job for a specified period of time. But it's found its way into mainstream business vocabularies as more and more communities trend toward a gig economy. A gig economy is a free market system in which temporary positions are common. Freelancers, independent contractors, project-based workers, and temporary hires all fall under the title gig workers and are found across every industry. Gig employees could be writers, rideshare drivers, photographers, accountants, realtors, handymen, programmers, tutors, artists, dog walkers, really anyone who enters into formal agreements with a company to provide services without being on the company's payroll. With digitization, the workforce is increasingly mobile, so workers can select temporary jobs from around the world and employers can find the best individuals for each job, without as much geographic constraint. The gig economy also saves businesses resources, like benefits, office space, and training, while providing employees benefits like an improved work-life balance and freedom to select jobs, or gigs, that they're interested in. While this flexibility is appealing, gig workers in turn usually trade that in for modest pay, little or no health or retirement benefits, tax complications, and out-of-pocket equipment expenses. And there's a blurred line between those who voluntarily work as contractors and those who are being taken advantage of by an employer that might classify someone as a contractor to get out of paying fair wages and benefits.
Fine. Thank you. Why I actually wanted us to just look at this was simply because it can help your thinking process, like I say, where you want to be. Maybe you just don't want to start out being an entrepreneur completely yet. Maybe you just want to find areas in the sector that you can do jobs in and make some money while you are at it, okay? Until you are comfortable enough to go on your own. Another thing we've discovered also is that in the course of this whole journey, you will realize why you need to maybe form teams as well, or build a team. One person can go so far. 5 of you can go a whole lot further if you pull your resources together. So are you looking at collaborating as an option? Are you looking at forming a value proposition, if I should use that word, that comprises of the skills a couple of you have, that you can pull together and say, why don't we build this? As opposed to just only me trying to go on my own. These are things we would really, really deep dive into and see how it works. Next slide, sir. Keep going. Hold on. This question is very important for all of us, right? Is it for you? And this is a question you want to ask yourself from a very informed perspective, not just because you don't feel like it today or not. It's not about how you feel, okay? It's really about getting up and going. It's about your mindset. Is this what you truthfully want to be doing? Now, if this is what you want to be doing, right? Let us help you, and you will also help yourself become successful at doing this. That will then be the end goal, okay? But if this is not what you want to do, when you've gone through and you see, oh, these things are, it's not for me, really. You've asked yourself some deep questions. You will truthfully tell if this is what you want to do or not. If it is what you want to do and you're not doing it properly, maybe it will help you identify how you can do it properly. Maybe you're doing it properly, but you're doing it in the wrong place. It will help you change where you should be doing it. It will help you identify where to find your market. Something happened some time ago, and a friend of mine was sharing. He will talk to you guys in a few days. He asked this friend, true life story, okay? Who said she wants to start selling rice, okay? She didn't have 10 naira to buy rice. But she understood the power of social media. So she went to social media and created a profile, rice seller. Made it up really nice, put it out there. And people started saying, oh, we want rice. So, okay, you truly want rice? Commit here. Buy now. And people clicked. You understand? Said, okay, if you want to buy, how many bags do you need? X amount of bags. For this X amount of bags, you need to pay XYZ. And that was done. And truthfully, true story, she took the money that had been paid, she went to Benue State, she went and bought rice and came and delivered. And that's how she started her business. Somebody else would have said, if you want to do that, go and rent a warehouse first, yeah? Staff it and all. But that's not the way to go. You need to cut your costs down. You will learn in the course of this business. I've learned in this training. I learned some even myself who's fascinated, I've learned some pretty amazing things. You see those surveys that you put online, would you like to buy? Right? They will only tell you what you want to hear. They are never true. So if you've patterned your business based on surveys that put out there, how many people would like to do this? How many people would like to do that? Everybody says, oh, we would like to, we would like to. And then you quickly say, hey, okay, because everybody said they want, truthfully speaking, let me start doing this product. You will discover to your greatest pain that that is not true. You will need to learn how to commit people or engage people online. You understand? If you want to buy, pay now. And when the people who do pay now, if you see the number of people, if for instance now, I shouldn't steal meme shark thunder. If somebody says, in this classroom now, what is it I would use now? How many of us would love to own a Mercedes Benz? Maybe a whole lot of people will put their hands up. Oh, no, okay. Let me say, how many of us like to own an iPhone 13 Pro? A lot of people will say, we want it. It's for free. A lot of people will say, oh, no, it's not for free. How many of you would love to own it? Practically everybody will say, I would like to. Or this Samsung Z Fold 3, I would love to. But if you say, how many of you are willing to pay now for that? You will see that a lot of people cannot commit. So if you are someone who wants to be supplying iPhones or selling iPhones, you are not interested in all the people who want it. You're interested in the people who want it and are able to pay now. My dear friend who does bespoke clothing, you are more interested in people who not only want your clothing or who like it, but who are also willing to pay for it now. Now, my friend who does upcycling, same issue. Your product must be something, my fashion designer, you want to be certain that they not only want it, but they are ready to pay now. So these are things we'll all be looking at as we go forward. Please, next slide. And then I think we'd like to entertain some questions. Is there anything else you want to talk about here? And then we can just go ahead and fill. Hold on. You will see this as you go through, so that's fine. Are you a risk taker? It will take you to a link where you will learn whether you truthfully are a risk taker or not. When you answer the questions here, you will know whether you truthfully like to take risks or not. And it's really so helpful. It helps you see yourself. I said something earlier, and I like the looks on a couple of faces in the house. I said perception is reality. And quite a number of people disagreed with me. I'll see if you still disagree with me 3 days hence. You will discover some amazing thing about how people buy, why they buy, okay? And it will help your business. One I can tell you off the bat is that people are emotional buyers. You really need to understand that. People are emotional buyers. Maybe like 90% of the people who buy iPhones in the world don't buy it because of how amazing it is. That's just the icing on the cake. And plenty of the people who buy phones in Nigeria don't buy it because of how beautiful or how amazing it is. It is the fact that it confers on you a particular perceived status. Yeah. Which is why a student still in school, not paying her fees, finding it difficult to eat, really needs to have an iPhone. She just really needs to have an iPhone. Can't you see? She needs one. It's not like she wants one, she just needs one. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the reason why she has an iPhone 6. And at some point, she really will not be bringing that phone out again because people are now doing iPhone 13. So you really, really see, people are emotional buyers. And when you prepare your product around the emotions of people here, you will marvel at the results you will get. Trust me, the people who do these things, the guys who succeed out there, they are very deliberate in what they do. It's not happenstance that GT will choose a particular color, orange. It's not happenstance that they will build some kind of offices that look amazing. They're trying to tell you something about themselves that you will learn to identify with and say, hey, anytime you see their logo, you say, oh, these guys. If you think that the big companies do these things and it helps them, why are you not? Doesn't it, tinker with your mind also that, look, you need to be doing these things and applying them to your own business as well. People spend a lot of money on research and development, you know that? Huge amounts. And these are the people you probably be competing with, in quote, when you enter the business. So you must find what is unique to you. You must develop it, but you must be able to make people look at your product in a very emotional way. Whatever product it is that you are selling, whether it is food, I talked about the man who would create an experience with food, the visual artist. What does your art say about you? What statements does it make? These are things you must look at. You must be very deliberate about, okay? Oh, this is gone off again. All right. So guys, basically that's it. If it comes back on, I'm just going to show you. It's basically the same thing. But as you fill those modules and as you go through them, you'll get somewhere. At the end of the class on Thursday, there are some gifts we'll be giving out. There are some things that some of our partners have been very gracious to us that they want to share with you guys that will actually help your businesses. So if you're an early startup, trust me, you don't want to miss it. There are some things that will help boost some things you can take advantage of immediately to help your business, you know, and they are big out there. I think maybe a couple of slides, let me see if there's something I've not touched. But every other thing, as you watch them, as you study them, you will find yourself where you're unlocking your certificate. And that would be brilliant. But please understand that do I really want to say this? Okay, since we're here, questions you will ask yourself, right? I think we've said this in passing, but these are things you will ask yourself. Can you live with uncertainty? Will your heart be beating every day? There's no 9 to 5. Are you willing to work hard? Entrepreneurship is not for the faint-hearted, right? Are you a creative person? Now, let me tell you guys something about creativity. I want to throw it in here, right? We kind of like to say we are creative people, but we lose the whole essence of creativity. What's the essence of creativity? Everybody in the world is creative. So when you carve a niche for yourself and say, I am a creative, what exactly do you mean? When you are a creative entrepreneur, what it just means is that you are using creativity to build your entrepreneurship or solve entrepreneurship challenges. That's all. That's all. You will learn some things here, trust me, that will change your mindset, like I've said. For instance, how many of us are willing to give away products for free? Just because you, sir. Great. Just because you want feedback. Two people in a class about 30, free. How many of you are willing to give away things for free in the course of building your product? Okay, so that's a bit more explanatory, right? How many of you are interested in very, very, very critical feedback that is important? Everybody is hand diving off. Okay, great. How many of us in-house hate criticism? I'm not talking about feedback now, just hate criticism. One person. Hate, dislike criticism. You don't like it. See, this is the part where we do the yes or no. Yes or no. All right. So, do you hate criticism? No, I am deliberate in the choice of my words. Hate. You hate criticism, truthfully. There's nothing right or wrong. You hate criticism. Do you hate criticism? You see, this is let's manage it. Does it work? Reason why I'm asking this is really simple. Yeah. Even when you find yourself in a scenario where you utterly hate something, in your entrepreneurship journey, it might just be part of what's taking you to the next place you need to be, particularly when it comes to people criticizing your work. The mistake a lot of us do is that when we are talking about criticism, we have products, we take it to friends, we take it to family, You know, we take it to people that we already connect with emotionally, and so they will not tell you the reality of it. If it's a shitty product, they won't tell you this is rubbish, because they will say, you spent so much money putting it together. They can see from your look that you want them to tell you that it is good. So they will go ahead because they will tell you. But how many of us are daring enough to say, okay, I've done a product. I'm going to go into a neutral place where people really don't know me and test this product and ask opinions of independent people, people who don't know you, and say, well, hey, what do you think of this product? What do you think of this idea? Do you think it's a great idea? Do you think it's okay? And when you say, oh no, it's a great idea, but it won't work here because of this and this and this, you can take valuable feedback from it and then put it back into what you are doing. If, for instance, you want to do, just an example, not a real one, hypothetical, you want to do something, you're creating a product, and you've done that product and you take it to, for instance, Meitama, Asokoro, highbrow neighborhood. And you're saying, guys, I have this product. And they come out and tell you, oh, this product is so great, but it won't work here because of X, Y, Z reason. You are going to walk away from that place with two things at the back of your mind. It's either, if you really want to sell in that neighborhood, you need to tweak that product to meet the expectations in that particular place. Or you are going to take what you've already done and say, okay, if it doesn't work here, maybe it will work elsewhere. And these are things you truthfully want to do with your business. As opposed to saying, this is what I must do. And then you're quarreling with all your friends and family because they are not patronizing you anymore. You're no longer speaking to people. You are frustrated. You said they didn't tell you the truth. You need to first tell yourself the truth, right? So these are the things we'll be looking at as we go ahead. Next one, I think we should about round up. I want to deal with questions. If we have questions in-house, if we have questions online, keep going, sir. Keep going. Still have a long way ahead, so. I want to show you guys something here. Please hold on, David. You can see all these ones ticked are the ones as you finish. This is how it will highlight. Then the next one will come. But you see the one that this is locked. David, please try opening this. And look at what it will tell you. I think it's important that I point this out, right? If you try to open something that says this lesson is locked, complete all previous lessons to unlock this. And if you are at any place and you try to go further and you see this, you will have to go back and review to be sure that you've not missed something. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you for your time. This is how it is with the British Council. I need to really reiterate, there are lots of opportunities for you guys with the British Council because they're really trying to position themselves to do a lot with young creatives on the continent at the moment. So please, you need to plug in, and it doesn't matter whether you're a photographer, a videographer, a musician, spoken word, fashion designer, writer, there is something for you out there, okay? For like our writers who are in-house now, right? You will find out, I hope you will be able to get that at the end of the course. Where do you even find people who patronize writing, the writing community? How do people make money from writing? I think we have an aspiring writer in the house. How do you make money? It's almost like a niche market. Where do you find, last cohort, we had script writers. Where do you find business? How do you approach people? And we'll find things like that. So it's a great place to be in now. When you are done, you will get your certificate. That's brilliant. But beyond that, please, if you are in Abuja, there's this thing I learned during the course of this, and I'm going to say it here, right? there is this phrase that says what? Follow who know road. Follow who know road. You know why? When you are going to be making, or if you want to make mistakes, right? You need to make what we call new mistakes. You understand? Don't make the mistakes people have already made from. Learn from what they've already done so that you will save yourself time and money. If you must make a mistake, let it be a pioneering mistake. Let it be something new that you're going to learn from. Because why keep reinventing the wheel? We don't want to. We don't need to. There are people out there who have gone through a lot, spent enough money to realize why certain things will not work. Trust me, you may even have a great business idea and think it's so amazing. But by the time you run it through scrutiny, proper scrutiny, what's happening in the industry, where it is, where things are at the moment and all, you may say to yourself that, okay, this might be a great idea, but it's just not its time. And maybe you want to put it aside, not throw it away, just put it aside, and then find what works for the now. If you create a product that's ahead of its time, that'd be great if you could. Even in the product creation, product creation, you will discover one truth. You know what that is? That if you identify a proper problem, yeah, the actual creation of a solution might not even be from you. But if you identify a problem, you might be able to find people who have solutions. And that's what a big entrepreneur would do, or a proper entrepreneur. They just find what the problem is, find people who can present or proper solutions, and find a way to bridge the two. I asked a question about people who like to give away things for free. The reason why I asked that question is this. In the tech world, right? Practically every software you know goes through what we call beta testing. And what does that mean? They will just give it to you guys and say, use it. And as you're using it, there are glitches, there are bugs, there are lots of problems there. And as you're using it, it will be coming up and you say, this is the problem. So they keep fine-tuning it. They now fine-tune it to a place where they figure out they fixed most of those problems and they can now put it out in the big market. You will discover with your business that oftentimes it's best to do that. Instead of just creating a product and just taking it to the market and throwing it out there. No, you want to create a product based on the feedback you are getting from people, fine-tune that product very well, over and over until the best version of it, you can now present it to people and they will buy. And your best product, like I say, your first product will never be your best product. Please note that. It will never be your best product. Because you do not understand the market. You do not understand what people are truthfully looking for. You are dealing with your own perception of things, your perspective. You can create some things, right, guys? Beautiful stuff, but nobody will buy it. And you will have a house filled with work that nobody is buying. You'll become frustrated. But if you create products based on people's needs and what they want, right? You will hardly have anything sitting on your shelf. If you identify what it is, for like fashion designers now, for instance, who are you selling to? If you are doing baby clothes, right? Just an example. Who are you selling that to? No matter how cute that cloth looks, it's not the baby who is going to buy it, right? There has to be a difference between the customer and the consumer. They are not the same. Your customer and your consumer are not the same. People make that mistake. Yeah? Your customer is someone who will buy your product. Your consumer is who will use your product. And these two things also affect how you can create things. You need to know. You can actually start creating stuff for your customers, but you better position your business to be creating for the consumer if you want to go far. is very, very important. So we will learn a couple of these things and see how we can put it to good use. Once again, thank you so much for your time, for your patience, and I'm ready to deal with questions wherever they might be coming from. Thank you. Questions? Any questions in class? So I'm going to assume we've all been sleeping, and then I'm going to start pointing out to people. Just kidding. Any questions? Any questions on the modules, things you want to ask about online? Things you like to know in-house? Things, what your expectation is about? Any? That's amazing. Is it possible that a class will not have a question? Or have I been speaking to myself? I will really admit it. So I've been speaking to myself. Any questions, business related, society, creative industry related, something you'd like to know? Anything? So someone decides to ask a question. Oh. Sorry, what was your online experience like? I'd like to know, curious. Sometimes, yeah. Okay, so the portion where you could see the entire class, you couldn't see the screen. Oh, that's deliberate, yeah? But then when they put up the slides on the screen directly, you could see it then? It was blurry. Okay, good.
I think the trend is more or less for the creative people, and I kept trying to find ideas there. I'm a social activist, and more or less in the space. I design projects and programs for people awareness, and there's something that has to be included, writing content, all of that, to suit whoever it is that you are. So if the focus of this training is for the reason, how does it also help to impact or impact the diversity of the community? Because especially a lot of people said they need to look for other ways that will do our work with actually explore the passion and also how does this project
brilliant question. So first and foremost, I'm going to disabuse your mind. This training is for everyone. We've had cohorts where a lot of the people in-house were actually tech people, not necessarily creative people. Yes, you would want to find expression in the creative industry, but the bottom line of all you'll be learning here is how to build a business, okay? And while some of the examples have to do with the creative economy and the African creative industry, trust me, majority of all you will learn is about building your business, okay? So even if you are a social activist, designing programs for people, for instance, programs that have impact, yeah? Going into the rural communities and all, you will find a bit of structure or learning of how to do that and do it properly, okay? When we get to areas like human-centered design, you will find out what to watch out for when you are creating products or programs or services. What will resonate with people, the right kind of questions to ask, the way to interpret the feedback you get from them to help you improve whatever product or content you intend to give back to them. So you find a lot of stuff like that. Creative economy, because it's just arguably the biggest thing playing out in Africa right now. Yeah, but there's no saying you cannot. You're going to learn a whole lot from this. And who knows, you might also find a place to plug in, which is a bit important. Yes, you're a social activist. Could you partner with people who are creative in delivering what it is you do? If you were going to do a rural program, for instance, and you needed a Davido or someone to come do stuff with you, how do you build that contact? How do you build such networks? What are the kind of things they are looking for? What are the similarities that you have, or the areas that you can collaborate on? Okay, so it's really for everyone. It's for everyone. We've had tech people, we've had UI, UX guys, we have all sorts of people, okay, web developers and all. It's just about finding that value, looking at what entrepreneurship is, building yourself along those lines, and if necessary, finding a plug. Yeah. So for the creatives in the house, as it is, truthfully speaking, I mean, it's low-hanging fruits here. If you would find a place where your service is already required and you can really just identify it and plug in, it would be a benefit for you instead of kind of trying to build from scratch. And you might not even know, even though you're a social activist, are there areas that you've not thought through? Are there things that you can, there are new ways or platforms you can actually get what it is you do on that can help you achieve your objectives better? So these are the kind of things that we'll be looking at, okay? Great. Any other question? Yeah, sure. Please pass the microphone to him. Do you have any questions online? Okay, great.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. I want to ask the kind of question.
Yeah, please.
I want to ask, is it right? Or should I really come to see is it right to give out your work for to potential competitor? I'm asking, I believe us if you get a job, knowing that you're going to this market and you feel insecure.
When I would have loved to defer this question until you've done what we call the business development canvas, because what that would help you do is actually identify who your potential competition is and who a potential collaborator would be. You understand? But I'm just going to answer it all the same. How do you identify the people that you want to take your works to? Why do you think you need their endorsement? What do you think you want to learn from them? Okay? If someone is at the same level as you, passing through the same struggles as you, facing the same challenges as you, do you really want to go to that person to ask some endorsement on what you are trying to do? If you want to identify the people who you want to ask questions from, you need to be able to identify them properly. What's the yardstick? Are they much bigger than you? Have they done what you've done before? Have they learned from the mistakes? Okay. So you are going to be able to get value from them. Are they a threat to you? In other words, are they going to just take your idea and run away with it? Or they are much bigger than you? This is the reason why you attend a program like this, because you're also trying to build mentors, okay? And some of the places where you ask these questions are from your mentors or people that your mentors can hook you up with, okay? So these are people who want to grow you as a brand. They are not going to be taking away the food from your mouth or run you down, no. And they can give you very honest feedback. They can tell you this thing you're trying to do, oh, let me be honest with you. We tried it 5, 6 years ago, it didn't work. Maybe it was not right at that time, but these were the reasons why it failed. And if you take that parameter and then you run your business through it now, you'll be able to say, okay, it will fail here again, it will fail here again. No, it won't fail anymore. So yeah, it's really helping you fine-tune what you are doing. You are a dancer, all right? So you have a new dance move, just saying, it's a product. You want to go to your next dance guy who's also trying to break into the market and teach him the dance move. And maybe he has a cousin or an uncle who's a videographer or a cinematographer, yeah, who's in the room. And he goes and shows him, and then the guy's new video comes out and you see the guy doing your move. See, now it won't work anymore. But if you have a dance move, you want to talk to, if you're in Abuja, you want to talk to Maima, okay? And say, hey, Maima, I have this move, and I'm thinking it'll work this way. You want to talk to Kafi in the industry and say, hey, this is my new move. Maybe then they may not be so quick to steal your idea, but you need to be able to identify. These are parts of the things you need to learn. How to identify properly who to take your product to. I said earlier that you should have the confidence to go before strangers, right? And talk to people. You probably will not take your entire product, and these are the kind of things you need to learn as a business person. You can take an aspect of what it is you want to do and test it, and take another aspect and test it differently, okay? So you're not taking your entire work and passing it off to someone. Some industries that might work. For someone who writes scripts, yeah, that might not work because you might need someone to read through your script or give you some pointers on what you want to do. But you just need to be able to identify properly, okay? So that this fear you have also doesn't come to play. Oftentimes when you, yes, yeah. Microphone, you want to contribute? Please pass the mic on to her. Tell us what you do. You came a bit late. Brilliant.
Concerning what he said, just like how you create a customer persona, so more like an identity of who your ideal customer is, so you can give them the product to actually test for you, and you can get value to buy. Say you're a content creator or you're creating content for a young person, say, 18 to 25 or 26. So if you give it to persons within that age, to actually test what your product is. Okay, let me know what your products are. So my next content will take up something like this or that. So instead of giving it to older persons, you can actually give it to people who your content will be channeled to actually. So just to have a customer persona, so you can always refer to that and to test the product.
Thank you so much. That's really on the button. Some of these things I would, that's why I said I really didn't want to answer the question, because in the days to come, you'll find practical answers to what he has asked. I'm sure before we're done, we'll be talking about things like market segmentation, and you would actually find out how to identify your exact market. What's that market you're looking for, okay? Who exactly constitutes what your ideal market should be? They are going to have to figure out who they are, where they are normally found, how to reach them, how to catch their interest, so that you can then get stuff going with them. All right? And these are things we will do practically. Yeah, someone has a question. Where's our microphone? Oh, great.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So that's what I was thank you so much for the presentation. I would like to also use this opportunity to thank everyone here for coming, because I believe the fact that creatives change the world. Creativity very so my question is, I love the fact that while trying to create something, there is a lot of hard work involved, there is a lot of sacrifices, and I love the fact that the challenges that comes with the work. I want to build something, I want to create something. So I just want to know, in a word, what is the one thing that will allow you or that will help you keep motivated or inspired to achieve your vision or what you want to like come up with, what you want to create? What is the one thing that will keep you going? Because at times you find out that you will have low energy, you feel unmotivated, maybe your products are not, like you say, they're not selling or something. People don't say, what is the one, but you have that vision in mind that this is where you want to be, and you believe that it is achievable. So what is the one thing that will keep you going?
Okay, great. I'm going to answer this with the one word I really shouldn't, and that word is passion. It's your passion for what you want to do that drives you through rain and shine, okay? It's not your passion as a creative, no. It's your passion to solve a particular problem. However, you've identified that problem, okay? That keeps you going. It's that passion that makes you feel that even if you failed 100 times, you'll get it the next time around. It's that passion that pushes you when you've lost all your money, it's gone down the drain, and you need to start picking up the pieces again. Still that same thing that says that I haven't cracked this yet, and I'm still going to go back to it. Crazy thing about this world of entrepreneurship is that you hear a lot of success stories, but I wish people would share their failure stories with you. Probably discover that Aliko Dangote, for all the money he's made today, and he's still making, he's probably lost a whole lot of money as well. He's just gotten better at knowing that, okay, for the things that fail, this is why they fail, this is why we'll not do it. Maybe also exposes the fact that this is not the right market, this is not the right product, and so they'll just let go of it and focus on what works. You will find out in the course of what you will learn, and there's really so much to learn. I'm happy you are here. You will find out why you may have a lot of plans and a lot of ideas, but you want to position your idea, figure out what exactly it is you want to do part time, and then allow things to evolve, okay? Some people have so many ideas. I want to do A, B, C, D, E. It doesn't work that way. You just spread yourself thin and it won't work. And you'll just crash on a lot of those things. But you want to figure out that out of A, B, C, D, E, right now, A is what we can easily deal with. A is the one that the environment will permit it to grow almost on its own, develop a life of its own. And then you want to do that. Doesn't mean you've forgotten about B or C or D. For what it is worth, we all know, I like to use Aliko. Aliko is a good example. Aliko started trading in commodities. A week or so ago, Aliko opened the biggest fertilizer plant in Africa, here in Nigeria. Aliko is going to open the biggest refinery, arguably on the continent, in a couple of months. From someone who started selling milk, sugar, Milo, Omo, salt, you understand? And this kind of like the entrepreneurship journey. If you ever get Aliko Dangote in a room and he wants to just be upfront with you and tell you the number of times he's failed, I'm sure you'd be amazed. If you think you've lost money, trust me, when you speak with people like him, if you hear some of the figures, you would quiver. But what's that thing that keeps driving them? Passion, but not just passion. Passion because success fuels that passion. If you've done it before, then you know you can do it again, and then you know you can improve on it. Okay? If you have not done it yourself, if you take someone as a case study and you see the person's trajectory, this is where he succeeded, this is where they failed and all, and you pattern yourself asking the right questions, then the probability of failure in terms of crashing your business completely becomes minimal. As an entrepreneur, you always take risks. Don't forget, it's a risky world, but you will want to take informed, calculated risks. So when everything is crashing and burning, right? That one word, the passion for what it is you do, the problem you want to solve, the things you want to do. Any questions? Anyone in the house has a question? If we have no more questions, I think because of the people who are online, I think we will close this meeting. As is our tradition, please, can we go to that very first slide? So guys in the house, like I said earlier, and I'm going to mention it again for those who came late, you need to tweet about this program. You need to put it on Instagram and all, using this hashtag and those hashtags as well. And also for those of us, for Kavik as well, so we can see what you are doing. The British Council is really interested in connecting with you on that platform. So please go ahead and hashtag permit the word, whatever out of it you need to, okay? And the cohorts before you, everyone's done something crazy, something different. We've had, I'm not very familiar with the challenges that exist now, but we've seen all sorts of challenges being, coming out of this. So you guys probably want to put your heads together and come up with a challenge that is peculiar to yourselves, okay? And say this is how well we enjoyed the training, or this is what we learned from it, or this is the impact it made, as it is. Tomorrow, it'll be a crazy, crazy day. So much for you guys to learn. There's so much for you guys to learn. We need to start structuring businesses, right? Structuring our businesses properly. Please, I'm going to implore us in the room. Let's get here for like 9:30. So by 10, we can actually get going. David, I think we're done with the people online. We don't have any questions. There's just one. Is this from you? Oh, great. Great. Someone online wants to connect with him? Brilliant. So this is the reason why we do this as well. Like I said, so that we can network and do a lot of stuff. And who knows what might come out from it all, yeah? So there's refreshments for us, it's food to eat, stuff. But first and foremost, we're just going to get together and take a group picture, okay? And then and see you guys tomorrow. Have a beautiful, wonderful day.